talking about My Liberation Notes, episodes 9 and 10. I have been saying how much I truly love this K-drama. It's so good. There is great characters, there's wonderful actors. Kim Ji-won is in it, Son Seok-gu is in it, Lee Min-gi is in it as well. And I have watched a lot of Kim Ji-won's K-dramas. She's a great leading actress. And I've also seen a lot of Lee Min-gi. Son Seok-gu, he's been flying under the radar for me for quite some time. I did watch him in a K-drama where he was playing a philandering husband, but this time around, he really outshone everyone in terms of his drama abilities or acting abilities. So yeah, here he is looking very svelte, handsome, and I like the fact that it's currently summer in the US and it's also summertime in this drama as well. They take a few seasons, they go through a few seasons, but it is nice that they go and have a summertime because I really enjoy having the weather and everything be really nice and good in terms of corresponding with what I'm going through right now. Thank you so much. And this is currently my favorite K-drama couple. They're still recently on air on Netflix, so it's good to just kind of watch it before all the spoilers come out. But I'm sure if you've been watching social media, you have seen that a lot of the spoilers have come out, so definitely check it out. So this is a K-drama recommendation, and it is a bit of a spoiler for episodes 9 and 10. So if you haven't yet watched it, I'm not going to give it all away, but I do talk about quite a number of things that happen in episode 9 and 10, especially with Son Seok-gu and Kim Ji-won, just because they have such great dynamics together, and they are my current all-time 2022 favorite couple. So I'm really love their dynamics. I also like the fact that Kim Ji-won wasn't the cutesy K-drama lead actress. She was very real in this drama. Like, this scene is where they were talking about animals again. So they talk about farm animals quite a bit in this K-drama. They talked about wild dogs. They talk about, I think, pigs in the farm, and how she used to name the animals on the farm from, hey, Wisconsin, and how they used to name it. And the ones that they named, they wouldn't kill and eat because it is a farm. So, you know, eventually you do eat the chickens, the pigs. I don't think they had cows, but they may have had, you know, the occasional pig. And that's what they eventually did have. And Mr. Goose was so cute when he was like, okay, well, you have to give me a name. You don't know my name. You have to give me a name, because he was kind of serious and kind of laughing, but he was saying, you know, give me a name, because he didn't want her to, you know, vulture him. Of course, that wouldn't happen, but it was a very cute interaction, and that's very subtle and very, I think, a cute romantic type of interaction that they had in dialogue, which was good, because, you know, other K-dramas, it could be way over the top, but this one, very cute. And nighttime scenes where they walk, I mean, they did very little in terms of spending a lot of money on scenery or restaurants or high-end fancy things. A lot of this drama, they're walking, they're talking, they're hanging out at very low-key establishments or just in his apartment. This was not a high-spend K-drama, which was good. So this drama shot to the top in my heart because of the acting and the storyline. So, you know, definitely props for all of that. And I also feel like they didn't fit this typical K-drama leads, which is very, you know, cutesy, fun. Mr. Gu, the guy, the lead male, he had a very strong presence without ever talking that much. Okay, so this is the older sister, Gi-jung. and she had a huge crush on the single dad. And you could see her angst here. Like she finally got over confessing her one-sided crush on him and then getting run over by her friend. Like it was a middle school ploy of doing something to distract him because he did not immediately say, oh my gosh, I really like you too. So she signaled to her younger brother and his friend, okay, now come and run me over with the bicycle, because then it'll distract him and he won't realize that I confessed love to him. But it did. In episode 7, it happened. It was really awkward. So now, they had some text message exchanges. He's beginning to like her. He understands that he enjoys her bright personality because she is very, very fun, really dynamic, very extroverted, very emotive, whereas he's a lot more reserved. And so I like the dynamic on there. So she here is saying that she confessed to him, she had a huge crush, and the reason why she's doing it is because one of his sisters does not like her. She doesn't like her because Gi-jung was saying something bad about single dads and how they have children and it's so not cool to date somebody. And here she is like having this huge crush on him. So, her words came back and bit her in the tush. And that part of the dynamics was really cute. And you don't really see a lot of that type of storyline in K-dramas. So I'm glad that they really explored the storyline in this K-drama, but also it was very well done. And I gotta say that his sister, one of them, so unsupportive, so mean to Gi-jung. And I could see that because, she only wants the best for her niece and she doesn't want like some stranger to like come in and take the single dad away. Because a lot of times the stepmom is really mean to the kids. And so they don't want that to happen. Oh my gosh. And Chang-hee, he's the brother. He's kind of the comedy relief between the 3 siblings in a very mostly quiet family, except for the older sister and Chang-hee. The other 3, the mom, the dad, and Mi-jung, they're all quiet. They're all introverted. They're very solid citizens. Chang-hee, he has a very sweet personality. He also has good work ethics. And that lady right there sitting next to him, she's a very conniving woman, career, kind of just somebody that you would not want to work with because she'll take your leads, she'll take your clients without so much as a thank you. She will cut in line. She will do it without so much as a thank you. She's just a ruthless person. And also there's a bit of nepotism as well because I guess one of her parents had like a really good thing happening with one of the company. I think she got promoted or somebody else got promoted over Chang-hee. He worked so hard, so diligently over the many years that he was working for this organization. And yet somebody else got promoted because of connections. And so in Korea, and I'm sure, and it happens in the United States as well as everywhere, it's who you know. And he just doesn't know very powerful people. And so he did not get to get elevated or promoted on his own merit because somebody came in and swooped in. Yet again, he said that this wasn't the first time that it's happened. But he put this lady in the place because she was cutting in line. She just expected other people to just put up with it, where it's just like, why would you do that? It's like, nobody likes that. They might not say something, but nobody likes that. It's like, it's rude, it's uncalled for, and comeuppance will come around eventually. So yeah, and so he did kind of not really get into it with her because he is still a good guy, but he did stand his ground at some point, and he did at least say something that what he thought was unpleasant. So I'm glad that he was able to do that, because otherwise it's like, poor Chang-hee, like he's living out in the countryside, his girl left him. That's Lee Min-gi, the star. So then he was able to, he lost his girlfriend because she didn't think that he was good enough because he didn't really have a car. He once had a car, but he lost it. I don't know if it was because of bad business dealings or he just wasn't very good at budgeting, but somehow he lost his money. And so yeah, that wasn't good. After that, and probably a few other things, the father just really lost all kind of, not hope and respect, but just like really didn't believe in him solidly that he could fulfill whatever goal he was going to do, which is either take care of the car on his own or take care of a business on his own. It sounds like he had a small business and it went under, which happens a lot in Korea. There's a lot of small business opportunities that happen, but it doesn't always come through. But anyways, Lee Min-gi, he's such a handsome, wonderful actor. I'm glad that he played this role because the other roles that he's played, it's like recently it's been very slightly Asperger-ish, where he's socially awkward, very introverted, very stoic, slightly cranky, mean. Like, I don't know which Korean drama writer was like, we're gonna use this profile as the ideal Korean man, because I personally don't think it's ideal. They don't really talk, they don't really interact. Yes, they sometimes show up, but it's not like great. I think like at the end of the day, you're wondering how come this handsome but socially awkward person is getting the lead female. There's not that much going on for him aside from the fact that the guy's attractive. I mean, he's almost on the very rude side. So anyways, I'm glad that Lee Min-gi kind of switched over for this K-drama in my liberation notes because he was very caring towards the girlfriend that dumped him. He then was very good towards a new girl that he was dating, which was Mi-jung, really close friend from back in the countryside. Like they're all kind of in a close-knit group where they grew up together in the hometown. So he started dating her, but she's a very butterfly, carefree kind of girl. So yeah, it didn't work out. Now this guy, he is Mr. Beck, and Mr. Beck, or Boss Beck, he is pretty much a terrible person. Like he was going after Mr. Gu in like a very unseemly way. He was going to trap Mr. Gu at like the last stop on a train subway station. Luckily, Mi-jung somehow saved him by, yelling at Chang-hee, get off the train. So when she yelled at Chang-hee, get off the train, Mr. Gu just followed them, which is good. And he left his phone on the train. And Mr. Boss Beck was tracking that phone, and all of his little minions and gangster like minions and little gangsters, they said that they found his phone, but they didn't find Mr. Gu because he had got off on the station at Sangpo with Chang-hee and Mi-jung. So that was really good on Mr. Gu's part, that he escaped pretty much, I think, being beaten so badly that he would have passed. Like it wasn't going to look good for him. So Boss Beck is a terrible person. And later on in the drama, we find out that he was not only skimming money off of the big boss's nightclubs. Like the big boss had a whole bunch of different nightclubs, norebang rooms, which is like karaoke rooms, hostess bars, host bars. And what Mr. Beck said, or Boss Beck said to Mr. Gu, you now see like a little bit more of Mr. Gu's past, because he said, I don't really trust host bar men. And a host is someone in Japan, these host guys can make millions of dollars. They can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month by entertaining women, and not like doing rated R, rated X type things, just by keeping them company, like singing, dancing, getting them to drink, really making it fun for them at the nightclub. So a host is actually a host. He will sit with you, drink with you. So Mr. Beck is saying, I don't trust host guys. So Mr. Gu climbed the ranks in this somewhat gangster organization by first becoming a host. Because Mr. Gu is very good looking, he is extremely charming. He's very physically fit. You saw him jump over the ravine to get the hat. And then also Mr. Gu just has charisma. He has something about him that is very special. It's very vibrant. And I could see him being a very popular host, but that's not the reason why he climbed the ladder, because he's also very smart and calculating. And then later on in subsequent episodes, you see that he not only is just a good looking, guy, he's also very ruthless and cutthroat. So as he's exiting this building that Boss Beck is in, everybody bows to him. Everybody is like giving him that top tier level of respect that you give to the highest level. And he's just calling out to them, clean this, keep this in order, get some new sinks from my cabinet place. The guy is actually pretty funny as he's exiting. He's pretty much telling Boss Beck, you're just here as a substitute replacement until I come back, and you will not tell me when I'm going to come back. I will tell you. I will come back when I'm ready. So he really put Boss Beck in his place, and Boss Beck couldn't really say anything because Mr. Gu, he has a really strong presence, which is great. I just thought, now we know the backstory. We don't know all of the story because we don't know why he became a host. My guess is that he came from somewhere in the countryside where he put in a lot of physical work. He's very smart, but family connections and what have you. He didn't make it in the business world through the front door, so he went through the back door, sort of. And so, yeah, Mr. Gu, very, very well played by Sun Suk-gu. Great actor. I just feel like he did such a good job. And he's coming out with K-dramas. He's got it lined up, I'm sure, because his popularity amongst TikTok and social media and all the memes about him, he must have just really raked in on terms of commercial deals. Okay, now this part of the drama, of course, Chang-hee is just having a one-sided bromance with Mr. Gu. He goes into Mr. Gu's home, unannounced, uninvited. Mr. Gu doesn't really want friends. He's just in the country trying to figure out what he wants to do with his very lucrative career in this kind of underworld, slightly shady world of nightclubs and alcohol, other things going on. So he made enough money to have a Rolls Royce. And that is Chang-hee's dream car. When he saw the Rolls Royce key in Mr. Gu's bathroom as he was using the bathroom, why he was using his bathroom, I don't know. Why didn't he use his own bathroom? He just liked him so much that he just wanted to be in his apartment using his bathroom, using Mr. Gu's toilet. And Mr. Gu installed a very fancy bidet. So one, he installed a fancy bidet, which meant he was a higher class, according to Chang-hee. Two, he had a very expensive watch in his medicine cabinet. Along with this very expensive watch, he had the Rolls Royce key. And Chang-hee doesn't know, okay, does he just have the key for show, or does it really come with a car? And so we don't know about, he was holding on to this idea, and he was romanticizing it and just telling his, his little buddy, oh, well, I don't even know if he has the car, but I'm just going to keep thinking about that he does have the car, because it's my dream car, and it just makes Mr. Gu that much cooler. And so I was like, wow, Lee Min-gi is just really so good in this character, and so in a bromance with Mr. Gu. Mr. Gu was kind of whatever. He didn't care. I think he did care. I think had he not liked Chang-hee in his own way, there's no way he would have entertained this guy to let him use his stuff. He would have locked the doors. He would have done others. He would have just left, as Chang-hee said. He's he doesn't want to ask Mr. Gu too many questions, because he has that feeling that he would just leave unexpectedly. He came into their lives unexpectedly, and he thinks that he would leave. So anyways, please like and subscribe so that way we can chat more about this K-drama, My Liberation Notes. Thank you.